Yo, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to another episode of Under the Scope podcast. I am very, very excited. This is today we have our special guest again. Everyone's our special guest here at the podcast, at the Under the Scope podcast. But today we actually I get to interview a good friend. I've known him for a very, very long time. He's been part of the community. He's been in the esports industry for a long time as well. I won't tell his story. I'll let him tell his story, but I'm actually really excited that he accepted coming on to the show and be able to give us, tell us a little bit about himself. Like I said, I don't know what I don't know. He goes by, everyone goes by their gamer tags, and I know his name. I mean, me and him, like I said, we go quite a big back, and so I'm very excited for him and for you guys to hear his story, for him to tell you, his side of the story. But again, it's an individual that I've known for quite a while now, so I'm actually excited to hear more about him. So I hope you guys are, we'll wait a little bit, give some time for you guys to, get in here. I know that a lot of you guys are, love to be here. I know some of you guys are sick too. So, so again, we understand the actual video. This is the raw footage, obviously, because it's live, but we do edits and then we load them up onto Under the Scope podcast on YouTube. So if you guys haven't seen any of the previous podcasts, I suggest, you guys go there, take a look around, and also get to meet the other people that we've actually already interviewed. This is our 18th episode of Under the Scope podcast. So we've done 17 others. So hopefully you guys will take a sneak peek around our YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and then make sure you give these videos a like. These individuals are really, really awesome people. And again, they're here to tell their stories. It's a really hard thing to do. So hopefully you guys enjoy them. And also maybe one day you guys join us in telling your guys' story. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce Thurley. All right. The man of the hour. And then you guys can actually, again, hear his side of the things, ask some questions as we go. And, yeah, I'm excited to bring him on board. So, all right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. Yo, what's up, Thurley?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, doing well. Yo, awesome. Listen, man, you're always looking sharp, brother, and your background, immaculate. Love it, bro.
Appreciate that.
I got to give me one of those Thurley names. Right?
My neighbor. You know how we got to do.
Yep. Thanks for the follow, Murder FDLL. Appreciate the follow. So, Thurley, tell us, man, we always start the podcast with asking this question: where did Thurley come from? Where did you get your gamer tag?
Okay, yeah. It's kind of simple to me when I put it in the terms that I'll say.
Okay.
But growing up, I've always been a very musical person, and was in band, like in school traditionally, but then was also in like a quote unquote rock band, kind of like indie alternative band. So going through that era of time, so like 2006 is when I first came up with this gamer tag. That wasn't my very first gamer tag, but this is the one I came up with that was like more me, more unique. Like there's never been a duplicate of it. So when in the band that I was in, I played the keyboards or the synth, and the style that was around that era, I was wearing a lot of Hurley shirts. So I'm sure a lot of people know of the brand Hurley, especially on that West Coast. So I mean, surfing and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I don't surf. I live in Texas, but like just their style of clothes and T-shirts were just always awesome. Colors they popped, something that you did in that era. So I just combined the two things that I was really involved in. So playing the synth, Hurley, mesh those two together, share the H, you get synth Hurley. And so you see it here, you see it there behind me, you see it underneath on the video right here. So yeah, it's a pretty simple, interesting story, like very unique.
It is, dude. It's awesome. Like it's just. Again, I was just, the intro is always, like, hey, we, obviously we're on our 18th episode, but dude, like listening to the other 17, I think, but one person was their name. And then other than that, they had like a number to it. And even just adding their number, what that meant to them, where that came from,
Right.
So it's just, every bits and pieces, just makes your name unique to you, and
Yeah,
your
for sure.
story unique to us, so it's amazing, bro. So now I know. See, I actually did not know how you got Sinthurly. I thought I knew, but when you said it, I did not know.
Yeah, most people like they're always super surprised. They're like, "You were in a band? Like you played music?" And so like, on if you go to my Twitch, there's like a channel, a point redemption. It's like I'll play you some of my old band's music if you redeem it. It's pretty
Really?
funny. So people are pretty surprised. Like,
Wait,
or
wait.
as far, I'll
What
just
kind
go
of
back into
band?
the story.
What
Yeah,
kind
so
of
it's
band?
like I said, it's like a rock, pop rock kind of band. So any of the bands that you can think of from like the 2006 era. For I know you're a little bit wiser than I am, and so I'm a few years younger than you are. But like the era that I grew up in the early 2000s, like going through high school and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is like very pop rocky, fun kind of stuff. It could go the spectrum of quote unquote pop rock can go from here to there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
But it
grew
was really
up.
fun.
I grew up listening to all kinds of rock,
Yeah.
alternative, ska. So
Yeah.
and I did that because of my wife. My wife loves ska.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
but
ska's awesome. Like in high school, I listened to everything too in ska. So like I said, traditionally I was in band and like school through all that. So like playing the trumpet was what my main instrument was. Um, like ska, like always you'd hear cool stuff like Snarky Puppy. Like I don't know if you know
yeah,
Snarky Puppy, dude. Like
yeah,
Snarky Puppy is amazing. Like so
yeah.
stuff like that. So
Dude,
that's cool.
crazy thing. I was in the marching band in school and jazz band.
There you go. What'd
So
you play?
I play saxophones and
Yeah, I see
percussion.
it. I can see it.
Right?
I can see it.
Yeah.
You got that built-in rhythm, bro? Yeah,
I
I
I
got you.
do, bro. Like, I got the baby sitting
There you go.
blues.
There it is.
Hey, dude, I loved it, bro. Baritone saxophone, alto saxophone, and soprano saxophone.
There it is.
So the only thing, I mean, I know how to play the tenor, but I don't know
Yeah.
why the tenor never grabbed my attention like the other three did.
Really?
Yeah,
I
bro. I
guess
don't.
too when you're like looking through it, most people are like, "That dude's playing Barry sack. That dude's six. That dude's sick." Or
Yeah.
like he's playing the alto or like the soprano. Bro,
Yeah.
it's like the tenor doesn't really get a lot of love, but there are some awesome songs that feature tenor sax.
Well, there is, and they actually have the problem is that when I was going through all the music, right? When I learned going in sixth grade, I'm sure this is probably you, right? But you learn like the music, how to read notes and everything,
Right.
and as I kept going, I saw all these solos, bro, for alto sax,
Yeah.
And then crazy is like I started looking to like Earth, Wind and Fire, and you start
There you
hearing
go.
these like baritone sax solos. It's like
Mhm.
whoa, wait a minute, Tower of Power, remember them? Like you
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean, dude? Like baritone sax solos,
Yep. Mhm.
And then I went a little crazy. Not gonna lie. Cam is blurry, bro. Okay, hold on. Okay, I gotta get out of the. Apparently,
Marty keeping you in check. What's up, Marty? Appreciate you
dude, it
being
still
here.
doesn't want to. All right, I'm moving all the way up. All the way up. All right, did that fix it? Dude, it did not fix it. I don't know why my camera's been doing that lately, actually. Let me clean it up.
And to all you viewers out there, you only get this when you're watching live. If
Right?
you go to YouTube, you're not gonna see any of this.
No,
this
you
is
won't.
The behind
That's
the
right.
scenes.
Behind the scenes, baby. That's it. What's up, Marty? Yo, thank you for letting me know, Marty. Yeah, bro. So yeah, man. And then I went a little crazy, man. And like I said, I didn't play no outside band. When my oldest brother got married Sincerely, I went to Mexico because he got married in Mexico, and I played the alto saxophone. My pops had bought me one, so I took it with me, and I played with the band that the Mexican band they hired over there. So I had to
Okay.
learn a few Mexican songs to play over there, but and bro,
Which can be tricky, dude. Like when you
it
go back and
was
listen
so
to this, they're
tricky.
Yeah,
It's tricky,
difficult.
bro. It was
Respect to every instrumentalist out there for whatever genre they're in. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy.
it wasn't, bro. And then honestly, like I had to learn that, right? And then I was gonna fly out to Washington D.C. because our high school won the championship in the region for California, right? And so we got invited to play at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington D.C. This is 96, bro. I'm like 14, 15 years old, and
Yeah.
and so I we go and I had to learn the solo, and luckily, each person had to like learn, like put a song that they wanted, right? And that
Yeah.
song I chose, "In the Mood" by Glenn Miller.
Okay.
Do you know that song? That's it, bro.
Yep.
That's it. So I got the solo for the alto sax. So
Okay.
anyway, so when I was choosing the instruments, that's why I chose those
Okay.
those three instruments. All E flat instruments, but again, I know how to play the tenor, no different from B flat,
Yeah.
E flat. But it was just cool, man. So anyway, so now tell us about Thurley. Who is the guy behind the gamer tag? Who are you, man? You can share as much as you
Spin
want
Fairly.
and as little as you want, bro. Okay, so
Oh yeah. As a person,
yep,
I know in the intro, I know you said you know my name and everything, but I mean it's fine. It's right there on my bio and all that stuff. My name is Jonathan, but so that's the person behind the gamer tag Early. That's the name. Um, and I love gaming, dude. I've grown up in it, grown up ever since I was little. Like it's always been something to be a part of, like gaming, music, technology, like all these worlds collide. And we were kind of talking about it a little bit before we went in the podcast. It's like, so by trade, I am a sound engineer, like technical training. That's my trade. I'm a sound engineer. I work in the church world, um, and so like production and all that kind of stuff. So it's crazy how over the years you see video games sort of evolve into um, basically productions. Like if you watch any kind of esport, professional esport, it's huge
yeah,
productions, and
they do.
it's kind of like caught in the middle. Like I'm kind of torn in between each side, whether I want to go. It's all like, oh, I love gaming, I love audio, I love lights, I love video, I love all this, everything. It's just been awesome growing up in the era that I have, and just to be lucky to do that. But yeah, like I said, I'm a gamer, musician, all that kind of thing. Love music. I collect vinyl records. I collect Funko Pops. You see me, vinyl figures behind me. A lot of stuff just like more in line with like my childhood. So like Power Rangers were really big when I was a kid. So I got a bunch of Power Ranger pops. Like you see the big Stay Puffed up there behind me as well. Like Ghostbusters were amazing. The Karate Kid, just stuff like that. I'm very sentimental and like those memories mean a lot. And so yeah, I like to have fun. I'm very chill. Like to spread love, peace, positivity all around. I mean, we game each other. Like, yeah, I'll get aggravated. Oh man, I'm dying. I'm not doing anything. I'm chalked. But we usually try to keep a positive mindset because throughout your day, whatever you're doing, this is for me. Like, I wake up. Obviously, like I said, I work in the church world, so I do. I am a religious person myself. So, but like, I always just speak things of positivity and all that and stuff like that in mind. And you want to carry that through on you because what you surround yourself with, like, that's what you're going to become. Whether your friends, your roommates, the area you live in, like, you just always want to start positive and keep it going positive. Because if you're always around negativity, you're spreading negativity by the words you speak in your mouth. Um, that's what you're going to surround yourself by. So if I'm putting out positivity, people call it karma, whatever, but like you what goes around comes around, that kind of thing. Always just kind of keep it positive, very positive person. Like on this microphone right here, I have this wristband that was like kind of it says "You Matter" on it, and I've kind of taken it over. So actually, the story behind this wristband, it was at a donut truck, and so it was at a food truck park, and they had like a donut truck, and then I went up there and I was like, "Oh, these are really cool. Like, what's the story behind this?" And they were like, I went and got the backstory of it. The owner of it is like, yeah, my childhood. We had some things reflected in our childhoods together, and he's like, it's just something I didn't grow up hearing. And just to a little bit deeper in the story, like I'm a Hispanic male. He was a Hispanic male. He's gone up there. You can probably relate to this too. It's like the heritage we grow up in. It, percentage is very very low that children, let alone boys that grow up to men, ever hear that.
Yep.
And so that's just something I'm like, we can change that. Like, there's no reason not to. Obviously, like, generational growth is over time will always grow and change. But so it's like, I want to be the one to start that in my sphere of influence. So anybody I talk to, anybody I game with, try to spread the positivity. It's been really cool to some of the people I've met across gaming. Like we've met across gaming. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll dive into that story, but while we're talking about this, it's like it's just sparked interesting conversations, and just makes me very happy.
Nah, man. I was watching that your wristband there, and I was like, man, you matter. Like it's crazy because, and I'll add to your story, but obviously a lot of it is true. In the Hispanic culture communities, we don't hear that.
Yeah.
You don't. You also don't hear how much you appreciate it, right?
Right. Right.
And so and those are two main things. You also don't hear from your parents because they weren't raised that way, unfortunately, or at least a lot of them, where they say how proud they are of you, because that's not built into them. And so you trying to get that change for yourself, and then going forward for your generation to follow, that's amazing, dude. I'm trying to do the same thing with my kids. We try to do that, spread that positivity, and yeah, I mean, dude, there's days that I have a bad day, and I'll come and tell the guys, like, dude, I had an awful day today. I just won a game. I apologize in advance if I lose my shit during gaming, right? And so but I grew up religious too. I don't go to church every Sunday like I used to, but that doesn't mean I don't pray, and don't
Right.
ask for forgiveness the same way I would in going to church itself. So,
Right.
but I will tell you that there was a TikTok, okay, and normally I watch all gaming TikToks, but there was this one TikTok that just came across my page, right, and it really hit me, bro. Like, it was like this big event where people go and you have like this guest speaker, and this guest speaker was a motivational speaker, but at the same time he was a clinical psychologist, and so it's not that he studied or he was working at any type of institution. It's just he became a clinical psychologist to be able to help others, right? And so he started going around the country. But this one video, bro, this man sincerely, like, reminded me a lot about, like, honestly, if I look at you, bro, like, he had a little bit bigger hair, but
Right.
he reminded me a lot about you, bro. I'm not even lying. And but it's what he said, bro. He said, just because, I'm able to carry all this weight, it doesn't mean it's not heavy, bro.
Yeah. True.
Mind blown, bro.
Very
Mind
true.
blown. I've never ever thought of it that way, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And his thing was, I have never been told I matter. I have never been, no one's ever been there for me. I'm always the one that's there for everyone else. This is a male,
Yeah.
probably in his 40s, and dude, when he said that, like, just because I could carry it doesn't mean it's not heavy, dude. Right there, bro. It was like, dude, you know what? It's true, man. It's really true. And so I am glad you share that. But I share this to, just go back to what you said about you matter. Like, it's not just you and me. It's a lot of people feeling
Yeah.
that way,
Exactly.
And so anyway, so I just wanted to share that because, dude, it was like, I don't know, you saying that, it just sparked that little, memory of that video, me watching that video, so.
And yeah, that's I'd love to see that TikTok if you happen to have liked it and saved it, dude.
I
Just
I do.
send
I'll
it to
send
me.
it to you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
that'd be awesome to see. But yeah, that's so cool. And then, I mean, I don't want to turn this into like a mental health podcast. I mean, I'm not an expert in anything of it, but it's like just simple principles of stuff like that. It's like knowing that, yeah, I can carry all this weight, but it weighs. I mean,
Ye-
it's heavy weight, big or small. Any extra little ounce that's added to it is extra weight, and
And but
it
it's
doesn't have to be normal. Like, you don't have to normal. That doesn't have to be your normal. For anybody
it,
that hears this, that's listened to this back, whether you're here live,
yep.
whether you're here tomorrow. I mean, it's April 21st, 2023. If you hear this in 15 years, some back in this video, like, it's same principle stands.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And it's okay to ask for help. And listen, man,
Yeah.
one of the things that we're doing with our academy, and this is something that, we're doing in Chicago, we partner with someone, and it's all about mental health, trauma informed program. Like, we all have our traumas, and it doesn't necessarily have to be where, you went overseas, or, or you're just here at home and you were involved in some type of, not you directly, but indirectly, you happen to get in the mix of something, and you were shopping and something big happened around you that caused trauma to you, whatever it is, maybe it's a parent, a brother, a sister, something. And so what happens is a lot of people take trauma from just losing their jobs and not knowing what's next.
Yeah.
COVID caused a lot of that trauma too, and the uncertainty of the what ifs and what's to come, and so but the one thing I will say is that I am trying. We set ourselves out to try to show how gaming does help with mental
Yeah.
health. And so talking about this and thoroughly, you bringing this up, believe me, man, this is what this podcast for is for you to tell us your story and talk about topics like this. So thank you for bringing that up, man. So don't. It's not about turning this into a mental health episode. It's more of the more we talk about it, the more people understand that there's more for them to reach out to someone and get help, or
Right.
as a community we understand.
Yeah, and I mean, along with that, like, I just want to build a safe space for people. Like, that's the biggest thing. Build safe space for people. Like, I know having the hard conversations are tough. They're very
Yeah.
difficult. And for me, like, from the few, like a couple of people that just come to mind, they'll remain nameless, but like, we've had some very difficult conversations, and like, just to see the progress after those conversations or those people where they're at in their life,
Yeah,
it's awesome. So
that's a positive, man, like I said. So with that said, what is it that how did you get into, obviously we talked about in gaming. I know you've been in this for a long time, right? But how did you
yeah.
get into the whole gaming esports side of things?
Oh man. So let's see. I guess the first like e-sport experience, dude. I remember watching like Halo and stuff on USA on the
Yeah.
cable TV, and like that was like around that same time point, 2000 like 5, 2006, and all that. Like before like when Halo 3 came out, and that was on TV. And me and my cousins, I remember buying. They had an Xbox 360, so they would split screen. So I would go to their house and like we'd play, and then finally in 2007, I was able to buy my own Xbox. Like I saved up, man. Xbox 360, the arcade with like the 50 gig hard drive, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
And I just that, and I had Halo 3, and then we played that for a long time, and then got introduced to COD, and then through Call of Duty, which has been, I guess, you can call it my main platform, my main game that I've been playing all these years. But getting into esports, so you remember like Modern Warfare? I believe it was Modern Warfare 3. I think I posted a tweet about this. I posted like the COD Elite Founders Edition picture. If you go to my Twitter, you'll see that picture. I was like, man, who remembers Call of Duty Elite? Which is basically like clan wars before they became like more structured clan wars, because like you enter those with a team, you can win prizes. They were like reaching out to the pub side of things in COD. I mean, for Call of Duty itself, there wasn't really a huge it wasn't a massive scene as far as a professional platform. So
Yeah.
like that's where all this stuff started. Like back in the day, hop on playing with your quote unquote clan, your boys. You just get on, like you're playing, and then COD Elite came out, and then they're like, hey man, we're pretty good at this. And so there's a few players that were out, and they're like, there's local tournaments and stuff. We're like, okay, let's go this. So back in like 2008 was the first year that I believe it's 2008. We took a team to an UMG. So everybody remembers MLG, but before that too, there was UMG was around. And there was a UMG tournament in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and so we flew some people out there. It was really fun just to go see everybody. I believe Envy ended up winning that tournament, which is really cool to be a part of. But like I remember seeing some of the people that are massive right now, professionals, like back when they were kids. Because I mean, I was like, the team we took, they were a little bit younger than me. I was a little bit older, so it's like, hey, you're gonna be the dad of the trip. So we go to this tournament, and then like, hey, all right, pick you up from the airport. We're taking you to the hotel. Luckily, at that time, the venue was the hotel, so you didn't have to take him anywhere else.
Yep.
But I just remember like the team that took us out was Soar, is the old Soar team with Methods, and to see where he's at today is insane. Like he was a little kid playing, and look where he's at. It's crazy. And there's a bunch of professionals, so I was able to build those relationships over time. But that organization I was with, which no longer exists anymore, was called Lethal Gaming. And just over the years, it sort of evolved. We got more involved and more going to more tournaments and stuff, and that's how we met.
Yep.
Um, Back when you were with Mutiny, I'm sure
Yep.
everybody heard the story in the background of Mutiny and all that. And I remember because there wasn't a lot of as far as like organization owners that looked like. I mean, Hex was the only Hispanic one that we knew for a long time, and then
Yeah.
you were trying to do your own thing. I believe like he sparked a lot of what we're doing today in a lot of us, especially you, to see the path that you've gone, every venture that you've started and
Yeah.
gone through. I believe that that's been a possibility, and y'all are being around the similar age too. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just seeing that someone that like yourself can do it, um, was probably a big Kickstarter and a jump for you. But yeah, that's how we met. We borrowed some of your players at one point,
Yeah.
all this stuff. But like just going through it, there's a wild ride, man. Like the
Yeah.
tournament scene, those open bracket pits, dude, were terrible. Like I know you remember going down. I believe it was an MLG in Dallas.
I
Y'all were
remember.
here. You had a team here, and you had somebody on like your staff or something with their kid. They had a baby, and I
Yep.
remember seeing the little
It
mutiny jumper.
was my business partner and his girl and his baby.
Yeah. Yeah, but that open bracket pit, they put us in like a freaking 30-foot wide by 10-foot deep section. They had to squeeze hundreds of people in there. That was awful. But I
It
remember
was
that's the first
horrible. It
time.
was hot, bro. Low
Sweaty,
ceiling,
stinky,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
bad, but just to see where it has evolved and grown to like esports stadium here in Dallas Fort Worth. There's the Arlington Esports Stadium. All these
100,000
pop-ups
square feet,
coming
right?
in. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the stuff that you're doing and all this stuff, like there's it's crazy the growth, and I think it's still in its infant stage, even though it's like as big as it is. I
Yeah.
think it's still in its infancy, and there's a lot of room to grow.
No, I believe so too, man. And it's crazy because you're talking and all these like memories are just like hitting me at once,
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I mean, I remember DFW. It was a horrible experience, and a lot of the people don't really know much about me since early.
Yeah.
Like they know some of the stuff I'm working on, but they don't know all the history. I think I mentioned Mutiny before, but they don't know what has happened, where Mutiny
Yeah.
was, where it went, and then everything else that I've done a lot. So they know, again, some about me, but not everything. That's why they're trying to interview me now. Like, all right, you tell your story too, So
Yeah. I'm gonna flip
But-
this on you. All right, it's gonna be an interview. All right, so Silver Sniper.
I know, right?
No.
I know you're gonna have to join Fez, bro, because she's trying to like interview me and everything. I'm trying to get her to get on the camera too,
Hey, yeah.
So, yeah, but no, man, like I said, man, and it's crazy because I think LHR, who's on chat right now, like he has esports background. I think he also played pro, professionally or, amateur pro, and so he was also belonged to a big team and stuff like that. But, again, I don't know, like I think his were more locals, tournaments
Right.
and stuff like that. But it's crazy because I'm also live on Kick, and right now I'm, and Bezo, she's there, and she's Reviction's wife.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you remember
Mutual
Reviction,
player.
right?
Mutual
Yeah,
player.
exactly.
Really good kid.
So-
Really good kid. Made some weird choices I didn't agree with, but I mean, at the end of the day, is a really good kid, really good player. But yeah,
Damn,
I mean,
camera's blurred
it
in
was
there.
crazy. Like you were saying, there was a lot of teams that were like local only. And I'll put a pause right here. We can go ahead and edit this, y'all, so we can get his camera fixed and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know what's up with my camera, dude. Like it just. There you go. All right, that's what I'm just gonna do right there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying, so there was like a lot of local teams, like people that are part of like locals, like there was scenes in different pockets across the US. You had like Texas, Florida, the Northwest, Jersey, New York, Philly, LA, California. Y'all had like everybody had their own scenes, but like for the investment and the amount of time to now that I look back on it, like we could have done way better doing it. We spent, I mean, having to reach out and get investors and like, hey, it's not cheap to fly a team and a manager and whoever else
Yeah.
across the country. So like that team that Reviction was on that we flew out, all those kids were Cali kids. Had to fly those kids from California to Washington D.C. Make sure they got there with all their stuff, and it's like it's crazy. Like the scene used to be so different, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did at that stage of it, because it's like I remember having conversations with players' parents like, so you're gonna pay for my son's plane ticket and hotel, he's gonna play in this tournament and all that. And like, it's crazy, but the opportunity that I've had brings up a lot of good memories. Just the players and that played for us, and then that I got to meet and have a relationship built around is it's insane. It's awesome.
And you know, it's a great experience, man, for me.
Yeah.
I always thought that they should have continued. Like, I always thought, like, okay, we, you know, and you're right. Like, the craziest thing was, you know, having that explanation with parents. I think
Yep.
I told everyone, "What's up, Celtic? Welcome, by the way, welcome, Joker." And Celtic saying L did play professionally. So yeah. So one of the craziest things was that, you know, for what I, you know, was doing back in the days, we had 5 teams at one point in Thurley,
Yeah.
and I lived in Riverside, California at the time, and I had, you know, 5 teams, and all these kids were dropped off in my house, and the parents were like, "Who are you?" You know, like, why?
Yeah.
And so they saw, obviously, they saw my wife. I had a kid. They saw my sister there, my little brother, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you know, can I get your number?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, like, here's my number. Obviously, you guys
Yeah.
have my address. Here's the venue where it's gonna be, you know." So people took vacation, bro, and I was babysitting kids playing
Yeah.
video games. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
was fun though, man. It was so fun,
Yeah.
you know. And but yes, there was a lot of money spent, man. A lot of money spent. And when you start thinking about it, I really kind of disagree how everything went down. You know, obviously, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
PlayStation messed it all up. You know, they
Oh
went
yeah.
18 and over. They killed the COD community. There were some 10-year-old kids in a team that beat, I
I remember
remember,
that.
FaZe Red.
Cali.
Yeah, FaZe Red, bro,
Yep.
over in Ontario, California, the UMG
Yeah.
Ontario.
The UMG Ontario. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that.
dude, they that 10-year-old team, guys, if you're listening, that 10-year-old team were smacking everybody. It was crazy. I
Yeah, it
couldn't
was
believe it.
nuts, dude. The
Yeah.
crowd in that open bracket watching those kids like was insane.
Yep.
Like
Dude, I
it was
remember
just something to
just
experience, man.
yep,
That was an
yep. And I remember sitting with um you know, Scump's dad, right? Like, so him and I used to hang out all the time, and they had that VIP area, so
Yeah.
I was always having a drink with him there, you know. So, but dude, that was like, even him was like over there, like nobody knew who he was at that time, you
yeah.
know. And so him and I were hanging out, you know, and I remember Hex, dude, like over here, you know, fucking grabbing a drink, and so we're chilling, and then we decide, and then there's Kim. I don't know if you know Kim Meltzer,
Yeah.
but she's like an
Yeah.
esports mom, right? And so she walks out there, you know, and so we're all hanging out and watching these 10-year-old kids fucking beat on everybody, man. Like,
Destroying,
what
yeah.
the fuck? You know, like, I got players that, you know, I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna make it, and then these kids just come in and whoop,
Wipe the floor.
just
Yep.
wipe the floor with everybody. It was insane. So, anyways, so that going 18 and over was a big mistake. I think they should have kept it. You know, I think they should have done an amateur league that was okay
Yeah.
to be under.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to go 18 and over with like events and stuff like that, okay. But dude, I think that moment in time in 2015 when Xbox lost the contract to PlayStation, that is what killed the COD community. I really believe that, bro. Like, they just
It did.
shattered all
It
these people's
really,
dreams
really
and
did.
everything.
I mean, into like at that point, like as most of the things to do with business, like money is gonna rule most of the stuff, the decisions that goes on. So like, it's very sad to see like all that happen, and then like the sites like MLG is not the same MLG it used to be.
No.
Like getting on game battles, and then all these other third-party sites that tried to come in and recreate it. I mean, kudos for trying, but like, there's just nothing ever gonna be that time period ever again. Like, I don't think unless it's like the old school players, like enough of these professionals end up retiring and they want to continue in some kind of endeavor and like try to do it right and try to get it restructured, and somebody gets into a position that they're able to do that. It's not.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take a long time to ever get back, if it ever gets back. But I do agree, like they should have went amateur league, professional. They could have set the age brackets and all that kind of stuff, and
I think
it just grew. They jumped to a new level too quick.
They did, and then they go and $25 million spots, $20 million spots for Overwatch League. Like, it's great, it's good, but now companies are fighting for that ARPU kind of. And you know what's crazy though? Like, I felt that when they're back in those, pre all this going 18 and over, like esports companies were making money, like
Oh
those
yeah.
because I remember, you remember Pro Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pro Kids, I'm the one that helped. I sat down with them. So did Ramon and Mutiny, and we
Yeah.
sat down with them. Or Sepher, right?
Yeah.
And we sat down with them, and we helped design the gaming backpack that they started selling. That's why we were
Yeah. I
sponsored
remember
by
those.
them. And so I remember, like, dude, it was like all these brands were coming in, and it was such a better time those days, and
Yeah.
but you were making money because of sponsors coming in, and not only that, but you had the ability, because you're going to compete to these local events, that
Hmm.
your organization was making all kinds of money for that.
Yeah.
Imagine, you have your pro league, right? Your org has the pro league, and you have all these sponsorships, but you wouldn't gotten rid of the local community, like all the amateurs and even casuals
The
that want
general
that.
public where people are actually
Dude,
purchasing stuff.
correct. Can you imagine? Like, all those people would still. I think the average revenue per user and unit would have kept up. And now
Yeah.
all these companies that are folding, releasing teams, it's all because they don't have that avenue of being able to have that connection with their people.
Yeah.
Everything's behind closed scenes. They treat these guys like real big pros, which they are pro leagues, but before, dude, these guys walked through and hung out with anybody and everyone.
Yeah.
And now you don't have that. You just have the crowd watching, and when you put someone in an environment where they're competing and they see, like, oh shit, control freak, that, I don't know. Remember Clayster? He's still around.
Yeah.
So Clayster uses, control freaks. Shit, I'm going to go buy what he's
Right.
using because I want to be
And they
just
had
as
the
good as
booths
him.
at all the tournaments, and they were sold out. They couldn't keep them in stock.
G Fuel, Gamer Grip.
Yeah.
Remember Gamer Grip, bro? I think I
Gamer
still have a
Grip,
bottle somewhere. It doesn't work, but I still have it. I kept it just because it was new. But you know what I mean? Like, dude, it was so much fun back in the days
And then
versus
back
now.
in the day, that grind was actually fun to go out and look for sponsorships. Like, fortunately, like at that point in time, I had a lot of free time with the job that I was at, because I was working for a school, but I only worked 5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would work 5 months, and then I have all this extra time to focus on our organization, our esports teams, whatever we needed to do. So, like, I was grinding day in, day out. Like, Twitter was like huge, because that was basically your main platform, but and then like Twitch, obviously, but like Twitter, everybody had a Twitter. You reach out on Twitter, you build this following, and I remember like the sponsorships we went through. Like, I think the first one we ever got was Wicked controllers. You remember Wicked controllers?
Yes, I do.
So we had them for a short period of time, but then like, not. I mean, it's bad. It's like we used them as a stepping stone. Obviously, that's what most people do in the corporate
do.
world, right? They're climbing a ladder and all that using stepping stone. Like, I just remember like over the 5 year span that I was like head of like the esports chapter or whatever part of our organization's like, okay, Wicked, and then we got to um, Battle Beaver when they first started.
Battle Beaver,
So,
remember
Battle
that?
Beaver when they very first started. I mean, they're still around. They're actually a local company here to Dallas area. But I remember going from them, and then like kept building our growth, and then right around that time is when our team started doing well in like the 2Ks. That was a big thing. Remember the 2Ks every
Mhm.
weekend, 2Ks and 5Ks, whatever. And then so we started getting a little bit more recognition. And then I remember when we got Turtle Beach before Optic did, and I remember the reach that we had was insane. I remember the first, as an organization, I'm not gonna get deep into it, but like it was nuts what we were able to do as a quote unquote small local amateur team, to do all that, like Turtle Beach, and then we eventually got onto the Scuff and all that kind of stuff. But I'm losing thought, another train of thought. I was gonna make a point. Edit this out here in a second.
All right. All right, Celtic, we got to edit this point out, all right?
Yeah. All this where I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, just to seeing like from the grind back in the day is like what all you could do, and like we just said, like we were walking around with a backpack, or we had all of our players had scuffs, all of our players had matching Turtle Beaches. It was just like a cool thing. Like you knew you quote unquote arrived when you walk into a venue. You're squatted out with jerseys, all the same. They're wearing all the same backpacks with your logo on it. People are like, "Dang, dude!" And then they're going and buying. You would see it in the numbers behind the scenes, like on the business side afterwards. But
Dude, it
they
was
really did
so
lose
fun.
that. They really did lose that. Like the grind was fun back in the day, and now the grind is it's nearly unattainable.
And it's toxic.
Yeah.
It was a different type of toxic back then than
Yeah.
it is now. Back then
Yeah.
it was more of, yeah, there's everyone gets heated. There was a few heated moments. I mean, I remember that,
Yeah.
even when I had Reviction, Neglect, I had Demise and Lyric on the team,
Yeah.
and Lyric got up because they came back and beat Nelson, and he
Yeah.
like smacks the monitor because he's getting up all excited, and he
There's a
accidentally
clip
knocked
floating
it
around
out.
on Twitter of that still.
Yeah, yeah. And so he's like, "You want to get down? You want to get down? Why you?" He swung at me, and everyone's like, "He didn't swing at you, bro. Like
Yeah.
he accidentally hit the monitor, And so, and now look at Lyric, bro. Fucking pro Apex player,
Yeah.
like dude's amazing, And so yeah, man, it goes back to saying like there was a chance where there was a time, I should say, when there was money to be made, and it was easier for these bigger organizations to make money because the smaller ones were making money.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they allowed for people also to spend money on trying to be just like the bigger orgs, represent the bigger orgs. And it was just more exciting back in the days, And let me read some of the stuff. So Jokers, yeah, I could be stuck in amateur. Who am I kidding? I would get the wife. All sports were fun until politics, money became the main focal point. That's a given. Honestly,
Yeah.
it
It's
it
always
is.
going to evolve to money. Yeah.
Hey, it's not just me that does that. I feel better now. Okay, yeah, there you go. It was. You mean draw a blank? Okay, well there you go, bro. Don't feel bad. We all do it.
We all do it.
Yeah. It was it was more excitement than it was toxic. Yeah. It was. That's the thing. And so you got hyped up, and that's what it was, man. You're hype, and yeah, there's trash talking, bro, but come on, what game and real traditional sports is there not, look at boxers, man. They get on their face. Sometimes they smack each other before the fight. They push each other. Then they go put gloves on, and then at the end of the day, hey man,
Shake
good
hands.
good
Good,
show,
yeah.
man. We got all these suckers to buy our fight, and that's what it is.
It's
bro.
true.
That's
And then,
exactly what it is.
yeah, one thing to add on to it is like
Yeah.
you're never going to see it again because they have it separated, right? Challengers and the Pro League. Like back in the day, you could make it out of the pit, and then you're in bracket and you're playing teams.
Yeah.
And like there was actually something to play for as an amateur, and knowing that there was a shot because like I can remember in our situation we had, so I don't know if everybody remembers Proto. Like Proto played for us. Did
Yeah,
awesome.
Proto. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then obviously he was connected with like all the E6 guys, so Jordan General and all that. So I remember when they went out their first event at UMG Cali in Ontario. I remember meeting his parents and all that. I mean, awesome people, that whole team, and eventually Cade and M. Ruiz and all them played for us too.
Yeah.
But like for him, like when the CWL first started, hey, he was on our pro team. Jet Li, I think Jet Li was one of your players
Jet
too.
Li was one of my
Yeah,
players
he was one
too.
of your players. He made it. He made it to the pro league. Like
Mhm.
there was opportunity there. I remember UMG DC, that team that we had Reviction and Neglect and all them. We played Optic Nation, so there was like Bose and Killa and all them, and we beat them like 3-1, whatever, in the bracket. And so
Yeah.
then we got main stage, and then we just got wiped by the regular OG team. But it was
Yeah.
like, hey, it was an experience. You beat Nation, which
Yeah.
like, and that crowd was around there. They're like, who are these guys? And I'm down there like hyping them up, standing behind, let's go, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like we get main stage in the booth and all that, and we just get wiped. But I think we put up one good fight in one of the maps, but then it was just like a quick 3-0. It was like,
Bro, but
But-
like
players
Reviction,
just don't play.
but again, dude, Reviction, Neglect, Lyric, and Demise. We did the run in Advanced Warfare. We did the run, bro. And in DFW, we beat FaZe, we beat Optic, we beat
remember
who else? We beat them all. Envy, and
Yeah.
we made it to S3 relegation, bro, in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that shit
remember
was
that.
bad. And then that whole situation when Nameless happened, you know, and Happy
Yeah.
was involved with his team, if you
Yeah.
remember that.
ISO. Yeah.
Like ISO, yeah, dude. It was like, oh, dude, it was different times, dude. Like it
Yeah.
was just better times,
Yeah.
and so you know, I I,
It
I
was a
think
lot of
there's
hard work, but everybody had fun doing it.
and listen, man, I think there's a way to get it back. I'm not gonna say we could get the pro teams in it. Maybe they want to, maybe they don't want to, but it would definitely because they have an off season too, you know. And so it
Right.
would be great to, you know, there's something that I think you and I have talked about, and we call it the ready up concept. And
Yeah.
so that ready up concept is something that we're planning to implement when some of the locations are finished, get finished up. And so once that happens, then we'll start implementing that to drive the final to, you know, the main location. And so I don't know if you knew this, but you know, we acquired Raging
I
Waters in
required some
Sacramento.
space. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And
I
so
did know that.
we have 98 also acres there. We have a 13,000 seat stadium
Yeah.
that the Sacramento semi-pro soccer team plays in. And so we want to host an esports, you know, championship there. And so we're partnering with a bunch of different people right now. I've been communicating with a lot of people up and down for, you know, California's NIL kind of, you know,
Yeah.
core team and stuff like that to see if we're able to build something. But again, that you're just, you know, hopefully everything continues to work as planned. But if you do, you'll remember the ready up concept, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be just different, you know. And so,
Yeah.
anyways, we hopefully. I'll be able to share more as we go, but it took me like a week. I had to write it up because we presented it to the mayor of Sacramento and all these other people, you know, and so they loved it, you know. So I just presented it last week, actually earlier this week, and so it was great, you know. They loved it. I just introduced it and presented it to other people as well, and they loved the concept. So hopefully we're able to bring it back. If we do, clans are going to be part of it, and also amateur leagues will be part
Yeah.
of it as well. So
That'd be great.
yeah, it's damn sick backgrounds in Thurley, dude. I'm telling
I
you, bro.
appreciate you.
Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, what is background? I thought
It
that
is my
was
room.
his
It's
actual
my
room.
actual room. I can go back and touch that stuff.
Yeah, bro. There's no VR or AR in there, you know. Like
Not a virtual background.
that's an actual Stay Puft Marshmallow Man back there, bro. I know that's that's why I'm waiting to see the Karate Kid with the fucking catching the fly over there.
Yeah.
You know? That's amazing, brother. So what was your first game that you ever played in Thurley?
First video game that I ever played. It was Pong. Definitely on Atari. It was. I remember Pong like when I was really little, like at my grandparents' house. They had one set up in the living room, and like I remember me and my mom played. Like she taught me how to play Pong. That was the very first thing, and I remember. Fortunately, like enough to like where we got the Nintendo NES, like the first Nintendo and all that kind of stuff, and obviously Mario and Duck Hunt, just get super into it. But arcade, like when we didn't have anything, it was like arcades, like back. I mean, all right, back in the day, like you'd go to Pizza Hut, it was a treat, right? Like you maybe went to Pizza Hut twice a year, and then like you'd get $1 in quarters, and you get to go play Space Invaders or Gallagher or whatever, dude. I just remember being in the arcades like that before, like I having a console when I was really little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for as far as answering the question, the first game I remember playing video game was Pong.
So what's the first game you actually played that you like said I fell in love with this game, and you know, on console or PC that, you know, you just said, man, this is it, you know, my addiction is this, you know?
Let's see. The first game I fell in love with was it was a World Cup '94 soccer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was World Cup '94. on Super Nintendo, like when that first came out. Like obviously I played a lot of regular Nintendo games, but like I would play that soccer game every single day up until I got the PlayStation 1 and I played Cool Borders and Ken Griffey Jr. like all day.
Dude, I love Cool Borders, bro.
Yeah.
I loved it. That was so
Everybody
good.
forgets about Cool Borders. That was so
Yeah.
good. And then eventually Tony Hawk when that
Tony
came
Hawk.
out. I got on PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Camera off. Messed up again.
All good, all good.
So yeah, man. I remember Cool Borders and everything. Ollies and all that. Right? You
Yeah.
remember that? Dude,
Yep.
such a good game. So tell us, I know you stream. You said it earlier and I know,
Yeah.
but how did you get into streaming?
I mean, I remember I had an account on Justin.tv. Like way back then, I used to follow some people on Justin.tv, and I was like, man, I wish I could do this. And that's when we were doing. I think MW3 was the game that I first started streaming anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I had joined Lethal when it was just a group of guys playing, and then we wanted to start streaming. And so I remember going online and everybody chipped in and we ordered a HD PVR, the first one, the Hauppauge HD PVR. And then we were just streaming Fan Wars, just battles and stuff like that. And then that's how I got it. It was nothing but the gameplay, and you would get the headset mic. And I remember like, YouTube wasn't. I mean, YouTube was around, but there was like no tutorials of how do I hook all my console to the HDPVR, make sure I'm getting game chat and all that, and it just evolved. But I remember that was how I first got into streaming, and that was fun. And then we ended up doing a big charity event. For a big nonprofit that was very successful, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this like on my own. It was obviously a team effort, but I was like, I think I can do this on my own. And so
Yeah.
just the evolution, baby steps. Everybody starts with it's just gameplay, and then when you're finally able to get a computer, like back in the day, you didn't have to have a really great computer, but you had one decent enough to capture the video and have a webcam and all that kind of setup. But I remember, yeah, that's how I pretty much got into it, like 2000. Like MW3 era, probably. Call of Duty.
Until Pentium 4 and 5 over
Yeah.
there. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that, bro. I had it. I streamed
Yep.
on Justin TV as well. I actually was part of the alpha testing team. You know who was what's crazy is that I think I know it was Nate Shot and Tim the Tat Man, and there was someone other people that are no longer around, but they were around for a while, up to like
Yeah.
2017, and then after that they disappeared. But
Yeah.
I think it was shortly after the acquisition of Amazon for for Twitch kind of deal.
Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, but it was incredible, man. Like I remember that thing, and it was great. And you're right, there was nothing on YouTube. And I remember some of the first montages. It's crazy, bro. If you go back and look at Facility B5D, there's a video that I've shared before where one of my good friends that we grew up and we owned Facility B5D together. Like, there was 5 of us, but that his brother, middle brother, he's like 2 other brothers, but his middle brother, he rapped to the montage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so funny, dude. Like
And that was what was so cool about those times of days. It's like, you want to you're putting out these videos. 'Cause I remember there's videos of like me dropping OABs or whatever in MW3. Like we would record videos and post it on there. And like, what's the banger, the fire song? Like, does anybody make music that we know that we can put on here to get any kind of recognition?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I remember those are fun days.
that's what you had to do, man. So I'm talking about way early on YouTube days. Like I remember like he created a beat, with his buddies, because he was like, a lot of people wanted to be artists and hip hop, and so I remember he's like, hey, I have this beat, guys, and we're like, all right, let's hear it, and so it's like, damn, okay, this sounds really good, and we had just gotten our recon armors from Bungie, and so we're like, damn, okay, let's do it. And so we went out and played and captured a lot of stuff, right? And so we started editing and all that, and my friend used to do the editing, the older brother of the guy that rapped it. And then he's like, okay, the edit's done, now rap and make sure it fits in. And so everything he's saying, like we were sniping and stickies and Kilimanjaros, and so you see that, bro. Like he like nailed it, bro. I was like,
That's,
dude, this is dope, dude. We
that's
got
awesome.
so much recognition after that, but dude, there was nothing there to tell you how to do things. There was no
Right.
music for you to grab.
Yeah.
Everything was damn Napster, LimeWire, BitTorrent that you had to do it. And then they back in the days, bro, they were really tough with DMCA's, man. They would
Yep.
bring your videos so fast
Yep.
down. It was crazy.
That's what I'm
So
saying. Everyone's like, who makes music? That's you had to like grind to find somebody out there. It's like,
yeah.
whose song can we use?
Yeah, that's
But
what it was. It was crazy,
me
man.
talking about that too is like, I remember our first big video that popped off. Like, remember when the Harlem Shake came out and everybody started doing videos?
Oh,
We did a
yes.
COD video and to that one, and that one popped off. It got a lot of views, and that was really cool to see, and that kind of like sparked that in me too. Like started putting out more content, stuff like that after that video sort of hit.
Yeah, no, and Celtic said it was good old fashioned trial and error. It really was. That's
Right?
that's
When
exactly what it
somebody's
was.
like, "What are you editing with?" Sony Vegas. How do you get that? How do
Yeah.
I use this?
What do you mean Sony Vegas? Does Sony
Sony
make
Vegas,
this?
right?
Is it yeah, bro? They were so confused. Like, what do you
Yep.
mean with Vegas? It's like
Yeah.
Sony Vegas. It's a program, and before Photoshop and all that, and so. But dude, it was so much fun, bro. I remember it. And I remember when like the iPads, they still had their editing software. You could do
Yeah.
like, it was
And
not
iMovie.
iMovie, yeah, but it was something before iMovie
Yeah,
actually.
something before I moved. I don't remember
Yeah,
what it was, but yeah,
but
eventually it
they,
just became iMovie.
yeah. So, but they used to allow you to edit too, and so like clip stuff together, and it was
Yeah.
really cool. So you could like transfer everything to your iPad pretty much, and the first iPads, and start doing it that way.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. Or the laptop, or their damn G3s. Remember those things?
Oh, the PowerBook
Yeah.
G3s. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool, man. It was just different. So Sinthorly, so you got streaming since Justin TV, and then you came
Yeah.
back and started streaming again, and I think my camera went out of focus again. All right, it's time to invest in one of those freaking Sony 6400 or something.
Yeah, something with the lens.
Yeah, because it's weird, bro. Like when I'm gaming, it doesn't go out of focus, but when I'm doing like the
There may be a little bit too much light in your room,
is that
but
what is causing it?
yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, I might have to like use different lights. I have different lighting in here instead of the room
Yeah.
light. So, all right. So, what is it? I mean, honestly, I know like kind of walk us through where are you trying to get somewhere with your streaming, or you just do it for fun, or I know that we all would love to do this full time, right? But
Right.
what is it that you're trying to get to with it? I mean, if it's full time, or what are you doing to help you get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everybody would love to have this as their full-time job. I mean, even though it is a lot of work, which it is, but
Mm-hmm.
for right now, I just like I started the stream off with saying I just want to have a safe space for some people to come chill, hang out, and talk. Just be able to have good conversations with people. I'm not trying to be a multi-millionaire overnight. It's not going to happen unless you're super lucky. Like that kid that had his whole DJ setup and laser show and that got like all that traction like last year at the end of the year. But like,
Yep.
um, yeah, just like I said, I'm not trying to do this full time. It's more just for fun, hanging out. I'll play different games too. I play COD. I streamed golf on Kick the other day, so PGA Tour. We'll pick some other games. But I love storyline and puzzle games, so
Yeah.
some of that content should be coming out too. There was during COVID, obviously nobody had any work to do, and they were all at home. And I played a lot of story games and streamed them, and that actually was really really good. But going back to work 5 days a week, it's like, all right, got to prioritize and make things where they want to be. So for right now, it's just for fun, and my schedule is slowly getting back to where I do have a normalized schedule when I get to streaming.
All right.
Right now, over the past month, I've been mainly focused on Kick, but I will be integrating back over to Twitch more often.
Okay.
Get some more DJ streams in too. That's another thing. Like I said, I was musical. I do DJ streams. Those are fun, super easy. Just a few things in the setup that I got to get figured out and finish first here at this new place. I mean, because obviously too, I mean, life hits you, and I've moved 3 times in the past 3 years. So, but now
Yeah.
we're in a spot that we're more settled for a while. So,
Good.
yeah, it's just more for fun, hanging out. Um, if you sub it, like I appreciate your sub so much. I do appreciate. When I said don't, I do appreciate if you ever sub to any of my channels because it's just a showing of support. But like I really, if you're there and you come in and say hello, it makes my day just as much, maybe even more often that you're just here spending some of your time with me.
Yeah, man. So what's your days right now that you stream, and so this
Yeah, right
way.
now it'll
Mhm.
be Tuesdays, and then so it could be any part of the day Tuesdays. Those are my fully off days and Fridays. So I will be streaming later tonight after this podcast on Friday. Um, and I will do starting to integrate Monday nights. That'll be coming soon. Starting to integrate Monday nights, and then Thursday like late mornings before I head into work on Thursdays.
Okay.
Weekends are pretty difficult to stream as far as Saturdays and Sundays, just as far as scheduling, but mostly during the middle, like Monday through Friday. So Tuesdays and Fridays are for sure's. Integrating Mondays and Thursdays
All
pretty
right.
soon.
And do you have a Discord, Synthurly?
I have one that's in the works right now, so
Okay.
it'll still being finalized. So it's not public accessible yet.
All right.
But yeah, the Discord coming soon.
All right. And where can people find you if they want to reach you? I know you said
Um,
Twitch and Kick,
yeah, Twitch, Kick, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's Synthurly, SYNTHURLEY. Just like you see the nameplate in front of me on the video. Yeah, like I said, the unique name is able to get you the same name everywhere. You don't got to add a number, put an X or anything behind it. Like the unique name has helped in all
Yeah,
platforms.
I know. I switched my name so much around, but Sniper has always stuck, but
Yeah,
everyone has Sniper on their name now.
right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'm going to switch it to Silver Sniper. And guess what? Last year, there's a league of grandpas and grandmas, and they call themselves the Silver Snipers because they have silver hair.
Yeah.
And so then I reached, someone tagged me in their video, and I was like, and they're like, this is the original Silver Sniper, and he has dark hair. And then, and they're like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, yep, I had this name for, you know, 20
Yeah.
plus years, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we're sorry, we're infringing. And, I was like, no, I'm just going to have to change my name now, like, they're
Yeah.
like, no, it's just funny. You could be one of our substitutes, and I was like, damn, dude, like now they have Silver Sniper out there, and it's a league of, grandpas and grandmas with silver hair. So
Wow.
it's,
That's awesome.
it's just, I know. That's what I said, bro. I'm not there yet, guys. No gray hairs yet, but save me a spot. Hopefully in a few
Yeah, I got a
years.
couple behind the microphone. If you can't see them, there's a couple behind. Like, I do this a little bit, I see some right here.
You know
But,
what's funny? Like I shave, right? Like I can't stand facial
Yeah.
hair, but when it starts growing, I could start seeing some of the gray hairs on my chin, bro. Like, so they're there. They're just shaved off and hidden, and they're not up here yet. So hope,
Well, I got a couple again, like up here, but I welcome it. Though. I do like. I think the salt and pepper.
yeah.
My skin tone is very good. Ladies, if you're out there, let me know. I might pick 'em up, I guess. I'm just kidding.
All right, guys, girls, you're out there, and you wanna hit up Synthurly. It's Synthurly everywhere else. So Synthurly, man, appreciate your time, for coming in and taking the time to talk to us. Obviously, it was a great podcast, great, conversation. It really didn't feel like an hour. We're an hour into it, but it's honestly like I love the stories, and you brought so many of my memories back, and it was like, damn, okay, I had forgotten about that, and so they start coming back, right? And so is there anything else like that you'd like to share? That maybe we haven't covered, or anything else about you, or or maybe some advice.
Yeah. I mean, I think we covered a lot, and it's true. Like we've been friends for a long time, and I feel like we could probably take this on for a couple hours. We could talk all night if we wanted to, but we're gonna cut it off here. Just something like I said, just start off the podcast too. You see it here, like again on the bracelet. You matter. I just want to put that out there again. Like, you don't have to carry all the weight that you're carrying. It doesn't have to be normal. You can have a conversation. There are people that are out there to help you and who do truly care about you. People that you never met. Some of my closest friends that I have now were made through tough situations and hard times. So hey, everybody goes through it, but it doesn't have to be normal. I just want to reiterate that, like, it doesn't have to be a normal thing of life. So yeah, you matter. I appreciate you so much, each and every one of you, Sniper. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Everybody that's viewing this video, whether it's live or sometime in the future on any of the social media platforms or anything, thank you so much for tuning in, and it was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you sincerely being here, like I said, and I honestly appreciate your friendship, man. We go back way back, fuck, dude, almost a decade now, and it's just been kind of it's been a roller coaster, but a fun roller coaster ride, and it's just been everywhere, which way you don't know where the wind's blowing today, but we're still here and still have hopes, man. And like you said, doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, it just brings it continues to bring a lot of hope on seeing things starting to progress now. I thought COVID had ruined a lot of things, but here we are, and hopefully we're able to do a lot of things together and work together here in the near future, Sincerely, because I honestly would love for you to come and help us build what we're, building out. So, the industry, you've been there for a long time, you've seen what it can be, and that's the kind of individuals that I need on the team to help us build it out. So we'll definitely be talking more about that and see what that looks like.
Sure.
But yeah, man. Listen, man. I'll turn off this podcast here shortly. Obviously, I'll do my outro here and all that good stuff. And then if you're gonna be playing, I don't know, are you gonna play some COD or?
Yeah, I just got to do one errand out of the house, but then I'll be back on for COD, and like I said, I'll be live tonight too.
All right. So yeah, hit me up when you get back. I'm gonna probably take a little break as well, and then kind of make a few phone calls, and then probably be back in an hour or so.
Good. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. See us in Thurley.
See you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, dude. Honestly, guys, these podcasts, they keep getting better, man. I honestly, the conversations just flows with a lot of you, and it's just there's so many amazing stories to be told, and I really am enjoying these. We're in our 18th episode, and it just, like I said, man, it's just hearing the stories is so amazing, man. Like I love hearing everything. Like I thought I knew everything about Sincerely, but hearing how Sincerely came about and some of the stuff that he brought up that I didn't remember, honestly, like it's just amazing how far back we go and how much we actually have in common, and what we've tried to do back in the days, what we've done and what we're trying to accomplish now, and just the way we think, it's just there are a lot of similarities, the one thing I can tell you is that, he remains very, very. He's a very humble person. He's a great individual, and honestly, he's one of those guys that you can count on. So if you guys, like he said, ever need something, you guys know we're always here. But there's always other individuals like Sincerely that that you can talk to as well. So, but I appreciate everyone stopping by. I am going to take a little break. So if I'll be back probably in an hour. I'm gonna have some dinner, hang out a little bit, and like I said, I gotta return some phone calls, and then after that, we'll be back playing some games. So hopefully, you guys will catch Sincerely live. I don't know if he said Twitch or Kick, but I'm sure you guys will see us on, and then go give the man a follow if you haven't already. So and make your ways over to him. He's here in the chat, so you can just click his name and hit that follow button or subscribe. So, but I appreciate everyone again taking the time to listen to our interviews. And if you haven't yet, please go back and to Under the Scope podcast and watch some of the videos that we have there. There's, I believe there's 15 up right now. There's 2 more that are in the works, actually, that have been completed. I need to upload them, or I believe there's 13. I'm behind. Sorry, guys. But we'll get caught up with all the videos. They're already been edited, so we'll upload them. You guys could watch the streams. But they're all amazing. And so I want to thank you guys for taking the time to jump on and be here with us. And if you guys are watching these on YouTube, you can always, join us live Mondays and Fridays, normally around 5 p.m. PST on Silver Sniper on _ either on Kick, YouTube, or Twitch. All right, everyone. With that, I appreciate you guys tuning in to our 18th episode of Under the Scope podcast. And I hope to see you guys in our next live episode of Under the Scope podcast. And if not, again, don't worry about it. You guys could catch the edited version on YouTube on Under the Scope podcast. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in again. Have a great rest of your night.